All right, so Adidas has a new model out that I honestly did not even hear about. I saw it on the website randomly, and I thought it looked pretty cool. So wanted to buy a pair, show you guys what they look like in person. Let's go ahead and get into the video. What is going on, guys? This is Hess. Hopefully you guys are having a good day out there. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching the video. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. If you guys are already subscribed, make sure that notification bell is on. And this pair of sneakers right here is a crazy one that looks really wild. It looks kind of like an updated version of a night jogger in a sense, but never heard of this model before. All of a sudden it dropped. Some people tagged me and said I should check this out. And then, like, obviously as soon as I saw the model, I was very interested in it. It has an Adidas Boost midsole, of course, and then it does have like a very retro-esque sort of upper on here, which gives it a really cool look. They have a couple different colorways. This is the colorway that I went with, but if you guys are interested in buying these or the other colorways, check the link in the description. It'll take you right over to Adidas site. So I'll give you guys a general overview of the shoe, but I'll get into what Adidas says about the shoe first. Adidas says a retro-inspired shoes that ride on responsive Boost cushioning. Every decade is remembered for something. The 80s bright flashy style, the 2000s innovations in technology. Get the best of both eras in these Adidas shoes. Their look shows off the retro glory, but the feel is a modern tech runner. Mixed together, you get something totally new. This is a gum, Aero green, and aluminum colorway, and it features some textile uppers with stitched overlays, and obviously the Boost midsole and rubber outsole. As for the fit, a lot of people say they do run a little bit big, so if I'm a 9.5, I should have gone down to a 9. Honestly, I personally just prefer a little bit extra room in the shoe. I'm not going to be running a marathon in these shoes, so a little extra room in the toes are totally fine by me. But this colorway is super dope. I love the natural earth tone sort of look to it. Definitely like a nice fall looking pair of sneakers in my opinion. But there's a number of elements of this shoe that I really like. It's kind of a really interesting looking model that has a lot of details on the upper, but also has some nice details on the midsole, and it has a beefier traction than just a regular standard pair of Adidas Boost shoes. It definitely looks like they put a lot of thought into how they were constructing the upper, because there's so many different panels and fused overlays and underlays. It's really quite fun to look at up close. So for the toe box section, as an example, you have a kind of a felt material around the toe box, but then there's a little cutout right here where there is some mesh material, and then on the overlay over top of it, there is fused on material that has a little bit more of a rigid appeal to it, but then it doesn't go all the way through. There's a couple little stop points. It almost gives like a cartoon style effect, but in this colorway it's the same color, so you don't see it pop as much. Then right around the trim in the darker color, you see the underlay, which is a fused material. So they have a fused overlay and a fused underlay on the toe guard. And right along the side of the mud guard here, you do have a perforated overlay over top of the other underlay. Pretty crazy, man. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different layers of materials just in this section right here. Then you get to the lace section right here where there's a suede, and then there's this Frankenstein kind of baseball stitching around where the laces go. And then you have this interesting triangle piece of material that's kind of over top of the 3 stripes on the side. So it's kind of like unnecessary, but it looks kind of nice, and it actually just adds a little extra flair to the pair of sneakers. And underneath all that is kind of like an engineered mesh material. Another interesting design, you have a really big V that comes up the side of the shoe here with 2 different types of material. It's also on this side as well. And then the back of the heel cup, you don't have just one material either. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 materials. It starts with this reinforced sort of mesh material here, and then you have a white fused underlay, and then the felt overlay, and then another overlay on top of that, which has the Adidas logo here that you can kind of bend down here. So there's actually 2 layers up at the top, but really nice touch there. Really just adds a lot of detail to the shoe. I mean, the entire upper is done really well, and this is a model that I think that if they had a really dope colorway on, it would definitely set the tone for the model. I think this is definitely a more subtle colorway, which I like, but seeing it in hand now, I'm like, man, they need to do some crazy colored accents to make this shoe really pop and show off some of the accents, because there's just so many of them. The tongue is actually pretty rad as well. You do have that stitching on the sides of the tongue that kind of pull it together, but something interesting that I've never seen before is it's actually like an elongated tongue that's folded over with the logo pressed on right here. So it's like really long, one material. It wouldn't stick out like this high if it was not reattached down at the base. But yeah, it's reattached down here, and they use the same material to create that effect, which I think is just genius. It's just a nice way to have a loophole here without having an extra layer of material just to add to the shoe. I don't know. It's refreshing to see that. I've never seen that before. You also do have some extra heel cushioning back here that's really nice and plush. And all in all, it's pretty wide foot friendly as well. You can see the base is pretty wide. Now getting down to the midsole, you do have that painted boost. So this is the same color as part of the upper. And the boost material does have these interesting little molding nibs all over the place. We didn't have that in the original Ultra Boosts and like Pure Boosts and stuff like that. It's kind of something that they introduced later on, and I don't know necessarily why. It just must be the way that they're producing the boost material. Any which way, you notice them all over the place. But then you do have some nice little overlays on top of the boost, just to, again, to add a little bit more dynamic than just a regular boost midsole. So you have a little wave pattern right here in the front, done in a different tone from the upper as well. And then in a third color to the midsole, you do have kind of this cream color and another overlay with this interesting design around the heel cup and the other side of the shoe here. Kind of cool, and helps blend in the midsole and just blend in all of the components to this colorway. But again, I could see some definitely different colorways here to add a lot of pop to this. Anyway, moving down to the outsole, the traction is massive on this thing, man. There's some big nibs, lots of arrows and Z's all over the place to create the traction pattern on the bottom of the shoe. So it's definitely more rugged than just a regular pair of Adidas Boost sneakers, and a bit more rugged than the night joggers as well. It's almost like it's a hodgepodge of a couple different models from what Adidas has brought us in the past, and I like what they actually did. I don't understand why it's a Retrophy P9. I don't know what the P9 is for, but I think that the model is really nice, and I like all of the stylings that this thing offers. It also does protrude back pretty far, so you can see the midsole is pretty big, so there's not much of a stability issue here because there's so much cushioning on the back here, but also so much of a wide foot platform that you're not going to have too much rocking side to side because of how wide the base is. Overall comfort of this shoe is really nice. It reminds me very similar of the night jogger. I might actually say that this feels better than the night jogger, though the night jogger was pretty good, but the boost on here is pretty significant and feels really nice and squishy on feet. All in all, this is a model that I'm pretty impressed with, and I definitely have my eye on future colorways. I think this is a nice surprise to see just a random pair of sneakers on Adidas website that I've never heard of. No hype or anything around the pair of sneakers, but it's just one of those shoes that you look at and it's like, man, it's a pretty nice looking model and a nice looking colorway that they put everything together on, and it's definitely something that I'm interested in seeing more colors of for sure, as I've already mentioned. But what do you guys think? Retrophy P9, something you guys are into or not? Leave a comment in the comment section, let me know. I think it's a nice casual pair of sneakers that you could add where it's a comfortable pair and it looks really cool. It's a little bit different than like an Ultra Boost, and it's just something that not everybody's gonna have on their feet. If you were a fan of the night joggers, this is definitely right up your alley, kind of that futuristic retro, as I always say. And man, I'm there for it. I think it looks really good. Anyway, if you guys want to see the other colorways or interested in buying these ones, again, check the link in the description. But leave some comments in the comment section, though. What are your favorite features about the shoe? I think there's quite a few features about the shoe that I really like. I do love all of the different underlays and overlays on the side panels of the shoe. I can't believe that they fit so many into one shoe. It's like, I mean, there's just a ton. I love the way that the tongue folds over and makes that pull tab. And then the additional details on the midsole is really nice with a really chunky outsole as well. So lots of great details. Really cool to see a fun new model from Adidas. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys, again, are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And appreciate you all for stopping by and watching. Hopefully you guys will check back for some more sneaker videos very soon. All right, peace, guys.